Mother's Day, a 2010 American psychological horror film directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. The film is about three brothers who fail to rob a bank and then run to their mother so she can help them get away. The brothers discover that their mother has lost her house in a foreclosure. The brothers hold the new owners and their guests hostage. When their mother arrives, she takes control of the situation, and not in a good way. Mother's Day is one of those hidden gems that you stumble across, and this movie is one of my favourite horror movies from 2010. So get yourselves comfy and let's take a look at the top 10 moments from Mother's Day. Number 10, Home Invasion. Okay, so couple Daniel and Beth have recently moved into a new house and they are hosting a party with a group of their friends in the basement. All seems good and everyone is happy, however, there are some guys driving to the house. Three criminal brothers and one of them is injured with a gun wound. When these guys get to the house, Daniel, Beth and the group of friends are all in the basement and unaware of what's about to happen. Brothers Ike and Adley take their injured brother Charlie to the sofa, and Ike and Adley notice something very different with the house. It's not long before Daniel goes up to see what the noise is, and the criminal brothers take him hostage. Beth also makes her way up after hearing some alarming noises, and she sees what's happening and tries to make a run for it, but she is also captured and taken hostage. Beth then tells the brothers that one of their friends downstairs in the basement is a doctor and could look after their injured brother, so Ike orders Beth to go down and get him. Beth then manages to grab her doctor friend George, who tries to fight the brothers off but also ends up being taken hostage. George is then told that he needs to keep injured brother Charlie alive, otherwise he will die. All hell then breaks loose and one of the other friends catches the men and goes running into the basement party screaming. Adley storms down and takes the rest of the friends hostage. Then the brothers' mother and sister arrive in a camper van, the mother who is in charge of the whole criminal family, and things are about to get much, much worse. Number 9, Forced to Fight. After the mother arrives, it's quickly revealed that she is not a woman to mess with and will do anything to get what she wants and to protect her family. The criminal mother has been sending money to the house for a few months, thinking that the house was empty, but of course Daniel and Beth, they've both been living there, so where's the money? The mother wants to know. But Beth and Daniel apparently know nothing about it. In a scene where things get quite intense, two friends downstairs are forced to have a brutal fight after the mother wants one of their girlfriends to come upstairs and sleep with her injured son. So friends Trey and Dave are forced to fight and the loser's girlfriend will be the one to sleep with Charlie. So Trey and Dave, they start throwing some punches and they are trying to choke each other out on the pool table. They end up flying across the room and on top of each other, and Trey ends up getting the upper hand and the mother orders him to finish the fight. It's quite a brutal scene, but it also makes you think, what would you do in that situation? Number 8, ATM Horror. Things take a dark turn in our next spot, and Ike has taken Beth to a cash point with all her friends' cash cards. So Ike orders Beth to withdraw as much money as she can from each card, but when they are doing it, two girls turn up wanting to use the cash point. They start cracking jokes because Beth is taking such a long time, and then Beth ends up dropping the cards all over the floor. It's at this point Beth tries to signal to the girls that Ike has a gun. Once the penny finally drops, the girls try to make a run for it, but Ike pulls out his gun and forces the girls to get on the floor. He then puts down a knife and tells the girls that one of them will have to kill the other, otherwise they will both die. At first, the two girls are like, there's no way we can do this, but then one of the girls picks up the knife and gets ready to stab her friend, but she isn't able to do it and drops the knife. Then in a shocking twist, the other friend picks up the knife and actually proceeds to stab her friend. She then tries to make a run for it, but Ike then shoots and kills her. Once again, it's one of those scenes which makes you think, what would you do in that situation? And also, this scene gave me the feeling that we were almost in a Saw movie. Number 7, Warehouse Chase. Beth ends up taking Ike to one of her friend's businesses to get some more money for him. She gives Ike the password to the safe, but she keeps giving him an incorrect digit. Beth then slowly opens up the drawer next to her because she knows there is a gun, and she grabs it and aims it for Ike. But Ike grabs the gun and Beth, she's trying to fire it at him and it just doesn't work out. So instead, Beth grabs something off the desk and smashes it over Ike's head. Beth then makes a run for it through the warehouse and she's trying to hide, and Ike is hot on her tail. At one point she manages to ring the police, but just as she's about to get through to them, Ike catches Beth. Number 6. Kettle torture. A brutal scene now in our next spot. Gina had tried to escape, but the criminal mother ordered one of the guys to catch her. When Gina is brought back, everyone is tied up, and Gina's partner Trey is tied up on his own, and the mother is just sitting there having a cup of tea, and next thing you know, you hear a kettle boiling. It's at this stage the mother orders son Adley to get the kettle and to pour it into Trey's eardrums. Not just one eardrum, but both of them. It's extremely brutal, and it shows you just how far this mother is willing to go. Trey kills the wrong person. Now I can remember when I first saw this scene, my mouth literally dropped. I couldn't believe what just happened. So the group of friends have managed to kill Adley in the basement, and Trey decides to go upstairs with a gun to go and kill the mother. However, at this stage, Trey has been badly burnt in his ears and he cannot hear anything. So as he's going up the stairs, partner Gina goes up after him and she's trying to grab him and try and find out where on earth he's going. As soon as Trey gets to the top of the stairs, Gina puts her hand on his back, and Trey then all of a sudden spins around and shoots her, thinking that it was the mother. It really is a tragic scene because these two were totally in love throughout the whole movie. Trey even fought one of his friends in the basement, but tragically it was Trey who ended up killing her. Number 4, show and tell. One of the most intense moments now of this movie, because things keep building and building as the movie goes on, but it's this particular scene that always sticks in my memory whenever I think of this movie. So like I said previously, the mother is convinced that either Beth or Daniel have the money hidden somewhere. So the mother grabs Daniel's memory box of their child that they lost in a tragic accident, and she starts to mentally torture him. The mother demands to Daniel to tell her where the money is, but Daniel is adamant there is no money. So the mother then sets fire to one of his deceased child's photos, hoping that it will jog his memory. But once again, he is pleading there is no money. So the mother then sets fire to the whole memory box, which is absolutely horrible to watch. What makes this scene even more worse is then the mother then orders Adley to get some fire and some spirit and to pour it onto Daniel's bit on the side, which Adley does. He pours the spirit on top of her head and then sets fire to her while she's tied up with her friends, and her head is badly burnt. It's one of those moments where you're just thinking how much further can this movie go, and then bam, it just shocks you. Number 3, Ike is killed. At this stage of the movie, a lot of the friends in the basement are dead, but Ike has returned with Beth, and things get a little bit crazy. So Beth and one of her friends manage to escape, and they end up in the garage, where Ike is hot on their tail. Beth and her friend end up hiding, but Ike comes in and he's trying to throw everything, he's proper looking for them, and he's gonna literally rip them in half. Beth jumps out behind him and tries to fight him, but then her friend pops up with a nail gun and fires it into his face over and over again, there are nails all over his head and his face. The two girls then try to escape, but then Ike is once again hot on their tail with these nails inside him. They manage to get him onto the floor, where they pour some caustic soda or some sort of acid all over his face. They then get a TV off the shelf and they throw it on top of his head and killing him. It's a brutal moment, but also very satisfying. Number 2, Final Showdown. Things just get completely off the scale in our next spot when the mother and Beth have a final showdown in the kitchen. It's one of those fight scenes where, like, it's probably the most ultimate bitch fight you're ever gonna watch. Like, the mother and Beth, they end up fighting, and as they're fighting, they're throwing, like, massive bitchy insults at each other, and they're even using, like, kitchen utensils and hitting them at each other, and it's just absolutely crazy. At one point, it looks like that Beth has got the upper hand, but then the crazy mother, she's just absolutely insane, and she starts to stab Beth in the shoulder before hitting and knocking her out. Next minute, we cut to a scene where the mother is starting to set fire to the house, and Beth wakes up with flames around her. She starts to come around, but then she sees the mother leading the petrol to the front door, and it's at this point Beth picks up a huge wooden chopping board, and she smashes the mother over the back of the head over and over again. Beth then manages to escape, but what happens to the mother? Number 1, Final Twist. So in the movie, we learned that Beth was pregnant. However, the mother's body was never found in that house fire. So we jump a couple of months ahead, and Beth goes into labour, and her surviving friends are there taking her to the hospital, and it all seems happy. We then cut to nighttime after Beth has given birth. All of a sudden, the alarms go off in the hospital, and Beth is confused and a bit worried, so she gets out of bed, and she walks down the hallway just to, take a look to see if her baby is okay. She gets to the window of the baby ward, and when she looks to see where her baby is missing. Yes, the mother survived and she took the baby, just like she did at the start of the movie, because all of those children were not the mother's. She kidnapped them all when they were babies and trained them all to be criminal gang members, which of course she's now gonna do to Beth's baby. It's a horrifying twist, and it's a shame that there was never a sequel to find out what happened next. And that was the top 10 moments from Mother's Day 2010. So guys, what did you think of the list? Let me know in the comments box below. What do you actually think of this movie? Is it a movie that you've heard of? Is it a movie that you've only just found out today about? Let me know, and let me know what you think. Do you enjoy this movie? Yeah guys, I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments box below. Okay guys, well thank you all for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe, and I'll see you all again very soon.